everybody. Welcome back to The Rush. Everybody wants to get healthier and be happier. And guess what? There's a great book called The Power of Food that can help you do just that. Adam Hart is joining us now. He had a great transformation himself. How are you, Adam?
I'm great.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell us about your story and I guess what your low point was and made you turn your life around.
Yeah, well, I was living in Toronto. I grew up in Toronto, but somewhere around 1999, 2000, I kind of hit my rock bottom. I was overweight, about 40 pounds heavier than I am now. I was diagnosed with fresh fruit syndrome,
What's that?
which is food allergies. So I had food allergies: apples, peaches, pears, plums, carrots, all different mixed nuts. Just pretty much my immune system was crashing on me. And I was also a heavy smoker at the time and really suffering with depression and anxiety and a whole host of things. And my real wake-up call was when I went into my doctor's office one day and he gave me a prescription for high cholesterol medication. He said, "Adam, you're pre-diabetic. If you don't change the course you're on, you'll be insulin dependent pretty quick." And that was it for me.
How old were you?
That was 26 years old. I'm 40 now. So
26 years old is very young to have a whole heap of problems like that.
I thought so too.
What was the first step out of it?
Well, I kind of made some intentions at that point. I went into a coffee shop pretty soon after I was handed that prescription, and I kind of realized at that moment that I wasn't alone, because I saw a girl that was right beside me, and she had a medical bracelet on for a nut allergy, and then there was another woman in there that had an oxygen mask, and saw another gentleman with some pills, and I was like, wow, wait a minute, I'm not alone in this experience, and so many of my friends and family members weren't feeling that great. And here I am having to live off medication like I am at 26. And I decided I had to pull myself out of that scenario, and did by getting into nature. I quit my job, I left my family and friends, and I moved out to British Columbia and got into the mountains.
Are you still allergic to nuts?
No.
And that's what people don't really realize, is sometimes people think they have all these allergies and all these problems, but if they're overweight and they're not very healthy, a lot of things are just created by that, and you really can get to where you can eat a lot more things when you just get your body healthy.
Yeah, you know, in the end, for me, it all came down to understanding more about my immune system. Why was I getting the flu all the time? Why was I getting all these common colds all the time? And when I started to research the food allergies, I realized, well, they're an autoimmune dysfunction. So if I can just find a way to start to enhance my immune function, then I might be able to reverse my food allergies. And I did more research, and I realized that, yeah, there's a lot of science that says there's no way that's possible. And then I read a lot that people were telling me that they were experiencing that exact thing. And then for myself, I just immersed myself into the culture of understanding my digestive system. And one of the most amazing things that I ever discovered around nutrition was the fact that over 70% of your immune system is in your digestive system. So it made such a key connection for me to be like, okay, wait a minute, now that means nutrients. If I get the right kind of nutrients into my digestive system, my immune system will then start to turn on more often than not. And that's how my transformation shifted from a very heavy meat-based diet. And I still eat meat, I still eat dairy, but not nearly like I used to.
Can we talk about the whole gluten-free trend that the world is going through right now? Because when it comes to food allergies or intolerances, it's not to dismiss the people who really have celiac disease or really are anaphylactic to nuts and what have you. But the gluten-free thing seems to be a trend where people are just saying, oh, I can't, no.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Well, the truth is, I think that we all have an allergy to gluten, whether we know it or not, whether we feel a symptom to it or not. It's a very hard to digest protein. So it's creating acid in the body. And as soon as you have acidity, you have a rise in your inflammation. And as soon as the inflammation rises, the body can't absorb nutrients properly, and you can't get that cellular health you're looking for. So automatically the body's going to fight you in certain aspects of your daily routine. And you know this based on your symptoms. Whether you have improper sleep and you don't wake up feeling well rested, or you lack energy, you've got the up and down crashes all day. So gluten is definitely one of those, and I'm not a big fan of telling you what you should or shouldn't do, and that's what the power of food is all about.
Right for your body.
It's all about engaging how you feel.
Yeah.
And I think if we do move towards really engaging that feeling piece, we're going to realize pretty quick that gluten doesn't fit into the model of feeling good.
Now, superfoods. There's certain foods that are better than others. Obviously, some things are okay to eat, but there's some things that your body just reacts the best to, and those you call them superfoods.
Yeah, well, I actually call them power foods. And I realized over the years of doing my work and doing a lot of nutritional research that there essentially are two kinds of food, and that's it. This is this concept that makes a lot of this understanding of how we can get healthier a lot easier. There's only two kinds of food, and those are essentially good and bad. But I like to look at them more in the way of you're either eating food that's heavily processed, has very little nutritional value, which dead food, or you're eating living food. And the more that we can bring living food into our current diet without changing the bad, then it's amazing how the body starts to wake up. It starts to naturally detox, and you start to wake everything up
and have more energy.
Energized.
Now, a lot of people get intimidated when you start talking about this kind of thing, thinking that they'd have to change their entire existence.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I can't cook that kind of food. But maybe you can talk about the book itself and how you've laid it out, and because it's pretty simple.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. If it's not easy, we're not going to do it. And when it comes to getting healthy, a lot of things that we tend to do to get healthy aren't easy for us to do and lead us to experiencing failure. So if you experience failure, and I know myself, I've been on several diets in the past, and they all led me to again, the guilt and frustration. So the premise of the Power of Food is to, let's look at this model a little differently. Let's start thinking about how can we bring foods in that are going to make us feel better without the elimination process like a lot of the diets that we tend to choose. So in the Power of Food, it's laid out in a way where I introduce you to what I consider the 6 plant-based foods: nuts and seeds, grains and legumes, fruits and vegetables. And then what are the key ones within those? Because you don't want to have to do 100 of everything. So why not just show you 1, 2, 3, 4 of each one? So in the book, it actually highlights 4 of the key foods from each of those categories.
Is it true that your body reacts better if you don't have too many options? Like you find some main things that your body fits everything you're talking about as far as your power foods, but you don't have too many varieties so your body can adjust a little bit better?
Absolutely, I think that's great. I mean, it's for us to have it also an easy piece and an easy way to get started is let's just pick 1 or 2 or 3 that you know you like, taste good, they're easy to find, your kids will like them, and then just find ways to just add it, where you don't have to change anything again. And then use the recipes that are in the book, and you start to get creative with them, like coconut, which we have the coconut macaroons.
Coconut is my favorite thing, and I love that it's a good thing to eat.
It's a beautiful
what are
thing.
these?
These are the magic macaroons out of the Power of Food book, and really a great recipe for everybody to snack on as an energy piece. Because
and a grab and go kind of thing, because I always use the excuse that, oh my gosh, I don't have time. There's always an excuse, but this you can grab and go.
Is that thing edible right now?
Oh yeah,
go for it. Yeah.
I'll be your test boy.
Yeah, right on.
And what is the salsa we've got there, mango?
And that's the pistachio mango salsa.
And why is that good? What's in there that makes it different?
It's just so fresh. It's so summery. It's got a lot of good healthy oil. You got some avocado in there as well, and the pistachios.
And that would be great with any kind of fish. Or on its own.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, it's just a matter of just eating these kinds of foods. The more we can eat plant-based
This is
foods.
delicious.
Oh, right on. Yeah, and great energy. So, again, a lot of the recipes are based on grab-and-go items because we have this really hectic lifestyle, and we shouldn't have to change that.
That's when we fall short of our bodies, which is going to keep us going in the busy lifestyle.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling your story. Make sure that you pick up a copy of The Power of Food. It is so nicely laid out, really simple recipes on how you can have more healthy stuff at home. Are you in? You love it?
Yeah, this is great.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this so that I can pig out.